has your worldview been shaped as a woman of color while crossing these continents all these years?
I always feel as if my life was parallel to history in some sense. While there was all these historical events taking place, a lot of changes were occurring in my life as well, because it was quite disruptive going from one continent to another. We were aboard this foreign express, and every time the train stopped, it was a foreign destination, but the scenery changed and the culture changed and the landscape changed, and nobody spoke the language that I spoke, and it was quite traumatic. And I think for a preteen or a teenager and an adolescent, as it is, you're going through a lot of psychological and physical changes, and it's a very trying time. And so it was very challenging, and especially because as a woman of color, there were countries where there were no other people of color. For instance, Switzerland at the time.
You were bullied in Switzerland. There's a very frank depiction of that in your book.
That's right. And I think, now when I think about it as an adult, you have a distance from what happened.
Right.
And so you tend to be more objective. And you realize at the time that that was how the environment was in Switzerland in the 70s. It was a very conservative society, and they were not open to foreigners. And I attended a local school, and nobody spoke a word of English. So I was... it was immersion from head to toe, and there was English and geography and history, everything, sorry, not English, all the subjects were in French, and I didn't speak a word of it. So for the first few months, I just sat there wondering, am I ever going to get through this? And I was angry, I was rebellious and defiant because I was only 12 or 13.
Gosh.
I was angry with my parents for putting me in this
and
situation.
those formative years as well.
That's right.
And
That's
as Melanie says, you don't sort of hold back when you talk about the sort of more frightening aspects
Do you see a
of your
lot of
life.
correlations between her life and yours?
It's amazing what you remember. I mean, even now, like...